Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church in Columbia, South Carolina. We're part of the ELCA. I'm Pastor Gary Lotholt. There's an old joke that tells of a morning prayer that perhaps many of us should pray. It goes like this: Dear Lord, so far today I've done all right. I haven't gossiped, haven't lost my temper, haven't been greedy, grumpy, nasty, selfish, or overindulgent. I'm really glad about that. But in a few minutes, God, I'm going to get out of bed, and from then on, I'm going to need a lot more help. As the saying goes, quite a few of us might resemble that remark. Sometimes here around the church, I'll encounter an older member who speaks sharply or is somewhat grumpy, and I try to be understanding and remind myself that that person may not be feeling well, or age may have them hurting and in pain. You see, so very often we take out our own hurts on other people who are near to us. I think that's what that thief on the cross did too. This week, as Lent begins with Ash Wednesday, we are spending our time together looking at stories of repentance in the Bible. These stories, and Lent itself, also present us a call for repentance and to return to God. Today we want to focus on the repentant thief on the cross. Let me begin by reminding you that there were two thieves on crosses, one on either side of Jesus. I also need to say that crucifixion was a gruesome way to die. In fact, on the cross, the person actually dies from drowning. On a cross, it's hard to hold your torso up, so the ribs cave in on the lungs, which fill with fluid. With so much fluid, you can't get air into your lungs and you drown. This takes time, and so the solution is to stand up straight in order to breathe. That gets harder and harder, and also explains why they break the legs of the thieves at the end of the story. With broken legs, they could no longer stand up, so they died more quickly. It was a torturously painful way to die. And in fact, you can even see the root of the word crucifixion embedded in the word excruciating. It's not an accident that these words are connected. In his pain, the thief on one side lashed out at Jesus. He was hurting, and he responded to his own pain by trying to cause pain in someone else. If you are the Christ, save yourself and us, he taunted Jesus. What he never realized was that on that cross, Jesus was in the very act of saving us. The other thief, however, had a different response. Don't you fear God? He asked the first thief. And right there is the problem. These two men had lived lives of crime. Their self-interest had led them to hurt others without care. They were hard men with hard hearts. But something about Jesus reached to this second thief. Perhaps it was Jesus' prayer to forgive those who were killing him. We don't know. Something spoke to this thief, and he uttered a plea which echoes through the centuries and becomes our own earnest prayer. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. That's the miracle of repentance. This thief had no time left to fix his life, no time to make restitution, no time to join a church, get baptized, or prove himself. He didn't make excuses or shift blame or even try to justify himself. He simply turned to Jesus in faith and begged, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Amazingly, even then, it wasn't too late. Moments from death, Christ's arms on the cross remained open wide in love and grace to receive. It's the hope we count on too. On that cross, Jesus answered him, setting aside his own agony to offer love to this thief. Today you will be with me in paradise. Even at the very end, it's not too late for that thief or for us. The thief on the cross that day asked for mercy. Jesus gave him salvation. This is grace, undeserved, unearned, overflowing grace. Thanks for sharing these moments with me, and remember to let this day belong to God.